Hello, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of An Old Man with a Smartphone. In this episode, I'm going to talk about my off grid solar and some of the issues I've very recently come across. Now, as far as my charge controller inverter goes, this Lux Power XP6000 has been absolutely phenomenal. It hasn't let me down. It's met my every expectation since I've been able to program it for what I needed and troubleshooted the dongle and programming for the night that I did. This device has been great. The problem I'm having is certainly not with this device, although I will say I should have maxed it out in solar, and I didn't, mainly because I ran out of real estate to put the solar. I won't use my roof, and my backyard's pretty full at this point. But the big issue with this, and where I've been having all of my fun, is down here on the battery bank end. I have 8 LiPo4 320 amp hour cells. This cell was the first one I purchased. I don't recall exactly how long I had it for before I doubled it up with the cell beneath it. The other 6 cells were purchased at the same time. They are a same manufacturer, but a different brand name. And the issue I'm having is on the balancing end. I have a battery equalizer or a whole battery balancer, and as you can tell, my 2 oldest cells are sitting up at 17.8, so they're far too high. That's triggering the XP6000 to only trickle charge. It believes the batteries are full, but these 6 batteries are not full. This series of batteries, and I suspect it's this one and not both, but this series of batteries seems to be nearly unbalanceable with the rest. They'll deplete a little faster and they'll fill a little faster, and because of that, it doesn't allow proper cycling for these other 6. So, as some of the troubleshooting I'm going to try and do is I'll remove the cabling from top to bottom on all the way across, and I'll wind up with a lower 48 volt bank and an upper 48 volt bank. I have this other battery equalizer down here, so I'll put that on the lower bank, and I'll put one on the upper bank, and if nothing else, I'm hoping to identify whether it is one or both of these cells. Now, the downside is, with these 320 amp hour cells, I cannot find them anymore. You're either getting 400 or 600 or 100 or 200, but you just don't get 320 amp hours. Not sure why they discontinued selling them, but that's the dilemma. So if I'm going to replace 2, I'm either taking a total of 4 batteries out of the system, or I have to replace the entire system, and then I've got around $7,500 worth of batteries. I'm not sure how I'll go about repurposing. Not to mention replacing the whole system is going to be upwards of probably $8,000 to $12,000 to go ahead and do that. And I did check my pockets and my piggy bank. It looks like I'm not going to be shopping for that today. I even asked my daddy, but he's broke and passed away, so he wasn't much help. This just happens to be part of my experience, is that I've got 2 cells that just aren't cooperating with the rest. Now, the moment The moment I go into here and shut the batteries off, and this XP isn't really sending solar to the batteries as much as it's sending the solar into my home grid. I've been backfeeding my actual grid as well as powering my house off of it for the most part. But once I shut it off, it balances out a bit better. So you can see those are 13.8. They think they're absolutely full. The rest are still trying to catch up. Now I could let this sit on the balancer for a while. That balancer is rated to transfer up to 10 amps at a time, so it'll probably take a lifetime or two. But I could let this sit here and equalize. Another thing I had thought of is maybe to drain some of the power out of these batteries and get them down quite a bit lower than the rest of them. And then when I hit the charger, of course, they'll recharge faster, but the other batteries will definitely take a charge. And of course, since it's been sitting here for a little bit, you can see how it's actually doing its job. It is balancing the cells out. It's just going to take a long time. I may choose to just leave the batteries shut off to the XP for a while and let them balance, but at the end of the day that doesn't really solve the problem. So I think what I'm going to wind up doing is detaching the two battery banks, and instead of having them connected as one, I'll have them connected as two. That'll help me isolate the offending cell. It'll also provide me with a few options and opportunities for troubleshooting and just basically getting the system to work. Now, as far as performance goes in the fall season, which is where we are, we're at the end of October, I find out of my 2700 watt bifacial solar array, because of where they are at the house, I don't really get a full charge until the sun moves to almost mid-sky, which is pretty close to noon, 1 o'clock, 1:30 these days. And so I'm not getting a full solar charge. I'm getting roughly 6 to 7 kilowatts a day as of current. And whereas in the summertime, I could easily hold 14.9 kilowatts mostly every day unless it was hugely cloudy all day. So I have had to do the forced charge a few times to bring the voltage up. A lot of that reason, again, I'm going to suggest is the one set of cells that are of higher voltage. And of course, the moment I turn this on so it'll start sending power, we'll almost immediately watch that 14.1 start to creep up. It might be a little bit slower right now because it's we're a little closer to late afternoon. But I do expect it's going to start rising here rather rapidly and faster than the rest of them will, because, well, that's been my experience. So I don't think I'll really be taking this apart to rewire it tonight, but in the future that's what I'm going to do, probably tomorrow, just to try and troubleshoot and isolate the one battery, as well as, if I have to, it's going to make it a little bit easier to, say, isolate the one cell, knock it out of the group, and then I can charge the other 3 cells individually while running the house power off the bottom bank, if that becomes my experience. Aside from that, I don't have a whole lot more to share for you guys on this video, but I will say, if you are planning a small home backup or off-grid solar power system, this is not a bad way to go. I looked into all of those whole home backups by this company, by that company, etc., etc. Mostly their battery banks are, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 8 kilowatts. They're really not that big. There is a model out there where once you buy the brain and the power wall and 6 more batteries at a couple of $1,000 a piece, you can actually get up to 16 or even 30 kilowatts, but you're paying thousands upon thousands to get there, and those systems just were not for me. This particular system is equally as powerful on the output as those are. It'll absolutely run my whole home, including my dryer. You might not want to run all circuits at once, but I've only actually outpowered this system one time since it's been installed. The other half of that coin is why you installed this system. This system was never installed to run my entire house. To be honest, it was just installed as a hobby. And, something, I don't go to bars, so this keeps me out of jail. I put it together as a hobby, enjoy it very much, but it'll also power all of my critical loads in the event of a full power shutdown for any lengthy duration of time. Just last night, I used the power from this to operate my slow cooker, and I made a very nice stew. So you can still cook with this through hot plates. You can still have your toaster and your coffee maker and a few essentials in your house running with this. Another big thing I hear from solar power enthusiasts and those people who do the home backup, the argument is, do you want one large system that powers everything, or multiple smaller systems that powers everything, but most things are powered separately? And there's a good argument to be made for that, in that when you're originally building your system, it's less expense out of the pocket immediately. Then you can recoup and build another system. Those systems are typically a little smaller and a lot more inexpensive, but because you have several of them, if one fails, you will have the option, or could create an option, to either rebuild it using a less critical system or divert power to it from another system that isn't using all of the power it has. That's just a bit of a food for thought for those people thinking about solar. Aside from that, I don't have a whole lot more to add. I will do an update video on the battery bank after I've rewired it and investigated. You can see here it's already back up to no good. So I'll be rewiring and investigating this. I'll do another video and let you know what I found. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Do like, comment, subscribe, touch everything on the screen. It's your screen. You probably owned it a while. You're allowed to touch it by now. Have yourself a great day. Bye.